Good evening and welcome to this Westpac Women's Premiership game for the last Friday night of the year. Before we get underway, we just want to send our condolences from the LMSC family and NRL WA out to the Simpkins family for the passing of Joseph Simpkins this week. A real tragedy. Joseph was a member of Rugby WA, NRL WA as a coach and a player, and genuinely had his fingers in all part of community sport trying to help out, and we do send all our condolences their way. This is the final round of the year. I'm Nick Neary. Donnie Bell joins me as always for the Westpac Women's Premiership. We've got double-header tonight, Donnie.
We do, it all comes down to this. North Beach, for them, elimination finals come a week early. They have no choice. They have to win this game to keep their season alive. If they win this game, the next game suddenly becomes do or die for the Fremantle Roosters. So it's a huge night of rugby league. But I just want to echo your sentiments. Big shout out to the Simpkin family and our hearts and our prayers and everything go out to them. Absolutely tragic what has happened during the week.
During this fixture tonight, we're going to take a look through what the season has gone by. We look at the last week's results. Joondalup Giants victorious over the Fremantle Roosters, and the Sea Eagles getting done by the Rabbitohs. We see the reverse of those two fixtures tonight. It's been a good season, Donnie. We've only had the 4 teams in this year, but surprisingly, the competition has tightened up all across the board, and it shows as to why we've got double results like this.
Well, this right up here on your screen at the minute is exactly what we're talking about. The minor premiership is also up for grabs. That seems kind of secondary tonight, doesn't it? But the Ellenbrook Rabbitohs and the Joondalup Giants tied at the top of the ladder. So if either one of those two loses, then the other can take the minor premiership, and the same third and fourth, the top 3 go through to finals. So it's the 4th team drops out. It is all up for grabs. It has been tight all season. I don't know that there's probably been maybe 2 games we've called all year where it's been a bit of a blowout or a 13-plus scoreline, like not even a massive blowout. Every game has been close. And we've had so many games this year where the score at half-time is completely different to what is the score at full time. It's been a remarkable season. I've really enjoyed calling it. Yeah,
it especially comes through where we've now seen the likes of North Beach. We've asked them for a couple of years to strengthen up the numbers around the park, as we just see the players having a moment of silence in the middle of the ground, which we might just go down to them now for. Yes, as I was saying, North Beach, they've started to get the numbers in and around the park, and we've seen the results reflected in it. They're a hot starting team that usually gets encapsulated later on in the games when they don't have the subs. We've seen that now fixed up and around. Joondalup, well, they had the hottest start to the season as possible and looked like they were going to go back-to-back without really breaking a sweat, falling into that Ellenbrook type of role. Then conversely, on the other side, we see Ellenbrook having the slowest ever starts to any single game all year this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And you sort of look at the team that they've named this week and you know it's finals time because that's a strong-looking team that they've named for the next game. But, North Beach have got to get the job done here, though, if that is to prove any relevance at all. So we're about ready for a kick-off. It is the Sea Eagles that get us underway through Sinead Lowndes, and it'll be the Joondalup Giants with first use of the ball through Kiri Smiler. So the Giants, well, they're looking to move at least temporarily into top spot, into the minor premiership place. And the North Beach Sea Eagles, well, they are just trying to keep their season alive. They have to win. Chanel Edwards looks to bump one off through the middle of the park, gets an offload back to Smiler. Smiler keeps rumbling up through the middle. Good start here, good first set so far from the Giants. They come wide now to Stevens. Stevens dummies, goes. They can't hang off and they do. And all of a sudden she finds herself in the backfield. She beats the fullback. She's around another Anika Stevens. She's got spiders on her. They don't want to tackle her. Eventually they get hands on. Find someone that's not an arachnophobic. and they go down the right-hand side now. Another pass from Biddle, and the Giants, well, that is the best possible start to this game. They go over to score. It is 4-0 kick to come on the Fuel to Go and Play scoreboard.
Goes all the way back to the start of the set as well, Donny. I mean, good carries up the middle. Came off a beautiful run of Chanel Edwards that just bumped off a couple. Allowed her to get the offload back on the inside to Smiler, who looked like was going to offload again. But it just set the defence rolling backwards. And then, as you said, spiders all around Anika Stevens. Probably picked too many holes to try to jump through. Was past the fullback at one stage and still wanted to step inside. But that's finishing, and Moeka finishes on the right-hand side. 4 points to 0. Yeah, that looks like a team that wants top spot.
Well, that was slick. That's a team that is gearing up for another grand final, one way or another. That's what their focus is. They don't care. They don't care what North Beach are trying to do here today. They've got their own tasks out. They've got their own things that they're trying to achieve in season 2024. That first set showed that they do not care what North Beach are trying to do here tonight.
Decent shove over from the sideline, Anika Stevens, just a little short right. Score's going to remain 4-0. The conversions are important. Yeah, just need to get their hands on the footy. Hard to be critical of it after one set. Letting in one try defensive policy is the question mark. But just need to hold up. Get a full set of 6 under their belt without conceding again. Otherwise it's going to be danger down here at Charlotte Vineyard. Ground's held up quite well throughout the season out here as well. It drains quite well compared to a few of the other grounds like North Beach.
It gets a bit of weather. I know there's a couple of grounds, I think, in Western Australia. It feels like every time we go there, we get the worst of the weather. And I think that ground up in Ellenbrook, and probably the other side of the spectrum is down in Rockingham.
Absolutely.
Whenever we go there, we've got rain coming in sideways and cop a fair bit of it. But yeah, you're right. It does hold up pretty well.
I think Harmony Cup has to be the most confusing day of the year, where there's 60k an hour winds, it's 28 and sunny, and then all of a sudden it's 12. Anika Stevens off the left-hand side, just beating him for fun already in this game. Net gain of 20 metres off a nothing run, one pass out to the left, already on the attack again. Looking to go straight up into the line. Edwards will just straighten, but shrugs a few off herself, looks for an offload. Producer Dave didn't get that career passes counter up. We'll have to wait till next year. 5th and last, centre of the field. Stevens looks to go high and right. Moeka could get a double early with a good leap here. Does get up and puts it easily over the line. Warning signs for North Beach's season. And we're only 4 minutes into the first half. 8 points to 0, a double.
North Beach have not touched the football yet. They haven't got the ball. They haven't been able to do... They haven't set the tone defensively. They have been meek. They haven't been getting up in the face of Joondalup. They're standing back, waiting for them to come. The message has got to get out there. I don't care whether Anika Stevens has got the ball or she doesn't have the ball. If she's anywhere near the ball, sit her down.
Yep.
Like, don't let her step and hold the ball out in two hands and fool you. If she is anywhere near the ball, knock her over.
I mean, 9 tackles, 8 points. Could be in the negative to tackles to points in a minute here if the kick's good enough. Anika Stevens a little bit easier here, and you're not wrong, Donny. Just got to cram up any space, and it's almost one of the ones, as well as a coach, where you send the message out quickly. Look, I don't care if the next one's high. You're not asking for a high tackle. You're asking for the hit. Yeah. You're asking for someone to get out of the line and make an impact on the contest. And if it's a penalty, it's a penalty at the end of the day. You're asking for that, the body to be thrown. Anika Stevens misses out to the right again. Needs to adjust.
Put some doubt in her mind.
Yeah.
Put some doubt in her, because at the moment she's doing whatever the hell she wants.
Probably has slipped more tackles than tackles made in general as well. Plenty of stats you could find early on in this fixture. Makes it a big mountain to climb. Still have not touched the footy.
Well, yeah, they'd like to get the ball in their hands when they're not kicking off. At the moment, they just need to get through a defensive set. We had the interview with Mata Moeka last week. She's got a double already. You know, she might have some confidence now. As
just broke it off a little bit. Now keen to get in front of it more.
She might end up with 15 tries, and then what choice do we have but to have a chat to her? The way she's going, it's 2 tries in 5 minutes. Perfect start. The Joondalup Giants with Warren underneath the smiler. Again goes straight over the top of one. Well, everything North Beach are doing in defence, they're going backwards. And Joondalup look well and truly in control.
That's the hit.
Well, there we go. There's the change in momentum. And it's Young with the shot on bunts. The two Briannas come together. And we've got a kick in general play. North Beach, they might get the ball. April Allen gets it, beats the first, and April Allen says, here we go! She puts one away, she's got one in front of her! April Allen is into the backfield! The first time North Beach have touched the ball, and they've gone 70 metres! April Allen, you superstar! Sinead Lowndes now had a dummy half, she looks to put the icing on the cake. Well, their first use of the ball and they're in an attacking position. So they tip on a couple through the middle. And they'll play the ball now, North Beach. And that one, the ball comes free, ripped out. And Joondalup get it back, so unable to convert that into points there, North Beach. But what a run from April Allen.
She's tipped as your number one player in the competition of can score from anywhere and will, and proves it there once again. First touch of the footy for a net gain of 70 metres. This stat sheet tonight is already looking absolutely ridiculous. Half a break down the right-hand side for the Giants. Got to commend the one-on-one strip by Biddle. Backwards, kept it in play and turned it over. Now this is very important. Keep this one in some sort of defensive zone for the Giants. Nice wrap up on the ground there, Annette Morrison. Trying to milk a penalty out the side. As we just creep ourselves over halfway. Only 8 minutes gone in the first half here. Edwards showing the ball on the inside. Instead it shovels 3 passes on the outer. Bruns works up for the line and Foxcroft didn't have too much room to manoeuvre. Herrera waits patiently. Shooter was good, but a nice step on the inside. Anika Stevens still manages to get hands free and offloads. Last tackle. Still need to find an option. Instead it goes high into the middle. Should be dead. And we'll roll over into the car park. Yeah, just a little bit out of their shape. Joondalup that time didn't quite get up. Oh, it comes from the shutting down of Anika Stevens' space. She had to step inside and they were already in a kerfuffle.
Absolutely. As soon as they got in the face of Anika Stevens, it took time away from them, and then it was ad-lib. It got in the hands of Warren, who's not a bad option, a player that's played a fair bit in the halves, but under that sort of pressure, they've come up with an error, as North Beach come up with an error of their own, and as soon as they release pressure on themselves, they put it back on.
Coach's nightmare to begin with, if we're completely honest. Couldn't have hit more in the chest. One Lowndes is going to want to forget pretty quickly. Yeah, it
wasn't exactly Lance Thompson from the 20-metre restart with the ball hit him in the head, but it was every bit as embarrassing there for the North Beach side, and Joondalup looked to extend this 8-0 lead. They go out to Matthew. Matthew's made a nice little change into the back row after playing a lot in the outside backs through a career. Very solid player. There's now the Giants playing the ball, looking to step through the guts here through Smiler's had an amazingly good start so far, just bumping off players at will. They try to go up with a one-on-one strip there through Young. Now Stevens going across field, feeds it out wider. Go back infield. North Beach, their defence adjusts nicely on this occasion. Stevens to dummy half, look out. Stevens goes from dummy half, gets over the line. Well, as soon as she got to dummy half, the antenna should have been sending a signal, but there was nothing from North Beach.
The tackle before, it's the first time we've seen the desperation as well. You mentioned it, Donnie. The defence shifted and were covering across nicely, and then it's just on that reset, being ready for the next tackle, not being heads up. And I've let through a third, 12-0 early here. Anika Stevens, polling votes, probably the only one that could take it away from Moeka in the first half.
I tell you what, it's an interesting concept in rugby league. It's not really something that happens, but in the other sport, in AFL, there's the concept of a tagger. I'm wondering if Anika Stevens needs a tagger. If somebody from North Beach just needs to follow her around, know where she is, communicate that to everyone else around her, and take control of her. But they need to do something.
This one out to the left again. I'm happy to play with the concept, though. Donnie, is anyone you'd pick? If you had to have a look through, it can't be April Allen because you need her on the turnover game and watching out back. It can't be Funger. It can't be any of the bigger running bodies. It maybe is Cox or Lowndes is the only two options you've got.
Well, I look at a player like Brianna Young, who's got a big motor, can go with her defensively, very good defender, understands rugby league as well as anybody out on the park there, and that'd probably be my pick. But again, having a second rower that's roaming around the field, I don't know how that messes you up your defensive structure. It would definitely be very different and unique.
Anything will help at the moment. 12-0, 12 minutes in. Going at a point a minute. In the final round of the year of the Westpac Women's Premiership, Smiler will get a good run at this. Just halted up a little bit before contact. Didn't enjoy the look of the defence coming at her. Little short side dip. Nice tackle around by Buchanan. He's just waiting to get injected into this game of footy. Two passes on the outside. At least for now. Early in the set, North Beach looking better. Line speed's good. Two up in the tackle. Question mark's going to come once we get out to Stevens, who has the footy now and goes back on the inside. And just immediately shrugging off a couple and looking to get the hands free. Brought to ground at halfway though. Can finish off a solid set here. A few explicitives in the sound effects microphone as we roll through Chanel Edwards to set up the last. Stevens out on the left. Ball goes right. Good chance to look in front. Biddle just goes really high. Has been working on the kicking recently. Nicely taken in across the back and should surrender for a good set at least, Donnie, and not conceding points.
Absolutely. They get the ball in hand, and Joondalup really haven't provided them any opportunities. They haven't made any mistakes. They haven't given away any penalties. It's been only this player here, April Allen, and as we say that, it is a penalty to North Beach, so maybe an opportunity now. The goal kicking, I would say the goal kicking's keeping them in the game at the moment. None from three, the Joondalup Giants, so it's only a two-try game. An attempt at a one-on-one strip. Referee says the tackle was already completed by the time the strip was completed.
So a good march. That's giving up 20 metres for free. Not losing it forward out the side of the tap ball this time, which helps out tremendously. Probably a good call there as well. Both players fully flat on the deck, as you see on the fuel to go and play a replay. Inaru Thompson, in the meantime, shot up the right wing. Advanced field position as a kid trips over the microphone, having a mare the sound effects early in this game. Good tackle. Out of the line. Allows us to get up and play. Terahui hits a short for Toby, who wants to go back door. Now working through the line a little bit smarter now. Set up right in front. Picking from half. Good look towards the sticks. Defence is going to hold it for just a little bit of time. Terahui pulled up a metre short. Lowndes' eyes are darting out left. Needs to get this deep and quickly. Got trapped for space, falls in just behind the defensive line, and yeah, it was probably good line speed there. Chanel Edwards, the one shooting out, I think.
Absolutely. Good defensive work there from Joondalup after giving up a couple of penalties. They defend their line stoutly. Now get a chance to work it out of their own end. The first time they've been put under any real pressure. North Beach, they've got to continue their belief that they can win this game. They need to up their intensity. They can't be holding off. Players like Tarakura Shernak, who gets the late offload back to Joe Solomon. Kennedy Joe Solomon put down. Stevens into dummy half. They come back in behind the ruck. Another good run there for Joondalup. Stevens again in at dummy half. He's appealing for a penalty. They go for the kick on last. Biddle says, we're not kicking, we're going to run. We go out wide and chop down low. There is Brianna Bunce, and they'll hand it over.
Maybe we've got to start mentioning soon as well, Donny. I mean, 2 defensive penalties given up, but they really do look like they're hitting their straps as an attacking unit, Joondalup. They're starting to get through their work early in these games, trusting, knowing when to offload. As Missy Jane Buchanan rolls up to halfway.
Well, they've got lots of weapons to the Joondalup Giants. They found a way. For a long time, they've had to find a way to combat the Ellenborough Rabbitohs and their power game. They've done that while also adding some weapons to their outside backs and their speed, as Lowndes shows a bit of speed of her own, gets to the outside, and Kennedy Joe Solomon with an incredibly important tackle. Now they go from dummy half. The North Beach side go back in towards the middle of the field. And they look to show a little bit of their own power game. Centre field on tackle 5. Pass has gone back, still play on, still the last. They go out wider, it hasn't quite broken down. Buchanan, they go out a little bit wider, still towards the sideline. Do they get it down in time? Touch judge says yes! Try to the North Beach Sea Eagles, and they are back in the contest.
Sure looked awkward doing it though, Tony. Tippy toe. No real dive, but yeah, live. I thought there was a big chance that this goes out right about here, but just manages to get the ball down in time. Kenny Kosa out on the left-hand side, 4-12. It's a hard kick, but this would really tighten things up. Get the Giants not on the back foot, but thinking about what foot to stand on, that's for sure.
Well, that's when kicks from the sideline can boost a team at the best of times. In this sort of situation, and they knock it over from the sideline, all of a sudden it's 12-6, and you're right, that the mental demons that start talking inside the heads of the Joondalup players, they've been dominant and they're up by 12-6. That'll play a big role. So it's a huge kick. As you say, it's one you wouldn't expect her to knock over, but if she does, it could change his entire game.
Still a fair hoof. Right on the sideline, 18 metres out from the goal line itself, so it's still a genuine 37-metre kick towards the posts. See how Lowndes can handle it. Can be hot and cold. He's just not going to have the trip. Looks all right for direction. Goes underneath the bar. 4-12. Only 19 minutes into the first half. Plenty of footy left. Just giving themselves a mountain of a task here in the Westpac Women's Premiership. Once again, best player in the competition the last couple of weeks. Camera 3 for LMSC. Had some good shots every week at the moment. Very mobile. Back into the middle of the park, Anika Stevens. First chance for them to kick the ball tonight. And they're in no hurry to get us back to halfway and under some regular play again. Expect this to go deep. Expecting errors. They're going to try to put a lot of pressure on this. Nicely taken in and options available on the inside. Not taken. And they want to get on with the job quickly here, the North Beach Sea Eagles. Little dummy and Buchanan through the line. Getting involved a couple of times early in the sets now. Sound effects Mike, 0-3 tonight. He's been hit from every angle. We'll come back to it in a second. At least we've got Liam Noonan, ref Mike, still with us. Good carry through the middle by Young. 30 out. If they can go back to back here, starting to really feel good. April Allen, second look, half a line break, hands free. Ada Cox, one on the outside is Lowndes, who gets off the right foot, now the left, and could go over. Good tackle again, but maybe on the far side. Noonan had the best view of everyone. And tackle 5 it is, almost, Donny.
Anika Stevens take a bow. Maybe. How did she prevent her from getting the ball to the ground?
Well, it could have been tight as well. Maybe Liam Noonan, a little bit of payback for the other week. got a good view of it this time, was in goal with it. Nice little chip over the top, not going to come to fruition, not out of danger, Joondalup. They survive for now through the hands of Warren.
I don't know whether I had Rachel Lowndes as putting a kick in on that last play on my bingo card there, Nick.
Wasn't going to be the plan play, that's for sure. April Allen, though, once again, gets through. Knew she was caught, gave it on the outside. Cox did well. Sinead did well. Right foot, then left foot, rare.
Well, it's great work on the inside. It's actually really good shape from the North Beach side, because if you hit April Allen in shape, she's got that speed and agility and evasiveness to cause doubt in the mind of the defence. So if she gets the ball in that situation where she has options, she's going to burn you almost every single time. So it was really good setup, good coaching, and well constructed as she looks to create something of her own there without any assistance from coaching or any of those other things I just spoke of. But shut down on this occasion by Stevens and Edwards. Now North Beach, they've really worked their way into this game after being down 12-0 early. A bit of a dodgy play the ball, but straight away they right the ship. Straight into Edwards once more. So now they look to put a kick in. Funga puts it down. Moika's knocked it backwards. I think it's picked up. This should be 6 again now for North Beach. Buchanan gets on the ball. Funga at dummy half. Goes to Young. Young gets up ahead of steam and they won't stop her. Straight through the hay diddle diddle. They couldn't stop her. Over she goes. Try to the North Beach Seagulls. 12-8 kick to come.
She picked this line early as well. Already locked onto the target. Never wavers. Knew she was going to be splitting two decent-sized bodies, but back to the pace really early on there. Surprised there, Brianna Young. Good effort, and yeah, if the kick goes over here at 10-12, Donny, well, you take back the first 5 minutes of commentary. I certainly would.
Like, how courageous is Brianna Young? Look at the two players that she just ran between. There's two of the biggest players on the field, full steam ahead, straight between the middle of them. Could have got absolutely obliterated. She could have just ceased to exist. At just click of the fingers, gone.
A little bit of Thanos stuff.
But instead, goes straight through the middle, plants a try, 12-8 kick to come. North Beach well and truly back in this game.
Joondalup looked to be having quite the genuine chat about policy there. I mean, Edwards was leading it up, and that wasn't just a let's pick ourselves up chat. That was genuine concern for a little bit. So in their heads, good kick as well. Just out to the left-hand side. 6 days of 4-point margin. That could have been a big one. Sinead Lowndes just out to the left-hand side. 8 points to 12. 5 minutes to go by the time this ball's kicked as we look at it one more time on the Fuel to Go and Play replay. April Allen was coming with a head of steam as well. Just was never going to be even considered in any part of that by Young at all.
Yeah. Well, again, the danger that April Allen possesses may have drawn some defenders on the outside, but she still had to go between Kiri Smiler and Topaz Porter. I've seen those two both put on shots that would terrify me. A short kick-off, and they get to it. Anika Stevens, well, rugby league IQ is through the stratosphere from Anika Stevens. I don't know about her teammates with a play like that, though, as eventually it's cleaned up by North Beach. Well, that was horrible from Joondalup after the genius play to get the ball back.
Yeah, first pop by Chanel Edwards. I didn't like it, but at least it worked. And then you don't need to go 2 more pops after that. Held in the middle of the ground. North Beach survived. Some more Anika Stevens brilliance. Got to get right back on attack here. Brought 3 into this tackle nicely, even with the slow play of the ball. Morrison's done well to attract some attention. Good Buchanan out on the left-hand side again has looked good. It's not Buchanan, in fact. But Buchanan has looked good down the left-hand side earlier. Terahui plays the ball. Now Buchanan. Wider again. A little bit of space for Kanakosa. keeps on charging. Starting to build some really good sets here late in the first half. Set up wide for attack here. Got to release early or kick through the middle. The grubber was the go, just blocked at the first line of defence. And not really held on the ground, so Buchanan's going to have to try chase this one back. Ashley Jupp eventually driven into the ground backwards.
Well, a good shot there from April Allen, showing she can do it on both sides of the ball. Not a noted defender. It comes up with a nice bit of technique there. So now the Giants, through Edwards, has the arms free, always a danger. Really hard to get to the ground, but they get it down. Stevens changes the point of the attack, back to Biddle. Now Smiler. She's had a big shift, Kiri Smiler. Still out on the park, hasn't been given a rest yet. And now Parakura Shernak. Getting the ball as a running forward. Anika Stevens spent a lot of time in a dummy half here in this first half. And now Biddle. Biddle goes out to the right-hand side. That's gone backwards. They go back and clean it up. Through Rere, and she puts the kick in now. Bounces around down towards Lowndes, who wants to watch it roll over the dead ball line. There's a little bit of a hill right at the end of that in-goal area, but it gets up the hill and over the dead ball line and out for the 7-tackle set.
Still looking pretty good in defence. The Joondalup Giants have only had a few little line breaks out on this right-hand side. It's the weaker of the two wings, and they've been picking it pretty well, North Beach Sea Eagles, on when they want to actually shift the footy. You'd wonder what the live line is on a game like this, with everything on the line. One-on-one strip, that's pretty good once again. Don't even need to say who.
It's not a great... It's not great for a commentator to be completely lost for words, but just Anika Stevens has that effect on you.
It's out of nothing sometimes.
It's unbelievable. She's playing in a different league, a different competition to everybody else. As I say, rugby league IQ through the stratosphere. Unbelievable. And now the Joondalup Giants, they've been under a bit of pressure. All of a sudden now they're on the attack, thanks to Anika Stevens, and she puts one of her teammates, Herrera, into a hole there. She creates again into dummy half. Look out. Here she goes. She goes from dummy half. The North Beach Sea Eagles this time are somewhat awake to it. She still gets an offload away. And Young comes up with the tackle. So now the Giants, they work down a short side again. They get the ball to Stevens again, back to Herrera. Those two are just playing a little game of backyard footy amongst themselves. Taria Herrera and Anika Stevens, and eventually it leads to 4 points.
It was almost some pretty good defence earlier in the set. Once Anika Stevens started going from half, you saw the Sea Eagles acting like seagulls and 5 amassed towards us. So the message is getting through. It just left them a little bit exposed one tackle later, where everyone's involved in a contest once again, tracking Anika Stevens, and one pass to the outside. There's about 3 metres of space. So still got to communicate your way through numbers, but there's positive signs with a try scored through. Margins back to double, 8-16, and kick to come from probably the easiest spot of the night.
Yeah, I think they did a reasonable job on Anika Stevens, but as soon as you start to zero in on her, then she starts to dish it off to teammates, and she picked Taria Herrera during that set. So from the start, she went over to that right-hand side, hit her with a short ball, hitting a hole. Then on the next play, goes from dummy half, gives it back to her, Herrera, who'd played the ball. And then on the short side, she gets the pass one off the ruck, takes the hit up, takes 3 players into contact, gets it offload again, back to Herrera, 3 plays in a row. And the third time lucky, Taria Herrera dives over to give the Giants a 16-8 lead at half-time.
Yeah, the damage was mitigated, but then very late just extends itself back out by another 4 points. So 8-point margin leading into half-time. We'll take a short break and be right back with the second half right after this. Welcome back. Second half just about to get underway. And a little bit of a score check. The app was going crazy at halftime, Donny, but score's correct. We've been calling it as confidently as we can, that's for sure.
Well, I don't know about you, Nick, but I've been watching, and it's 16-8. There hasn't been a conversion from either team yet.
There has not been a conversion.
So that's interesting. So 4 tries to 2. Yeah, if any team can kick a goal, it might become important in this game. But you feel North Beach have got to score first here in this second half.
Well, they can't concede 2 more tries in the first 5 minutes. A real Ellenbrook showing that first 5 minutes of this game was. I get a chance to receive, so that's a positive. Young will go straight back up into the line. At least they get a touch of the footy to start the half. And on the right-hand side, pretty flat-footed, but eventually building up a little head of steam. Nicely done, Annette Morrison. Set really deep and fresh out to the right. Through a couple sets of hands. Tony Anderson eventually dragged backwards and down. Nice little breakout from half. There's a little lack of line speed to start the second half here by the Giants. They've just been rolling back with the punches early. Sets up a good last little bit of attack, even with a bit of depth. I'll be able to roll into this one nicely. April Allen out the back. Releases Buchanan, who goes one more. Just managing to stay in the field to play Ada Cox. Might not be Ada. Might have had my number wrong reading that one.
Closer, I think.
Gave me a funny look, Donny. Funga goes over the top, swept across by Rare. Had an understated first half. Was there and there with everything, no errors. And a good kick return to get us started. A good North Beach set.
Well, a great way to start for North Beach. First use of the ball in the second half. Not quite as good as the Joondalup's first use of the ball in the first half, but still not a bad position to hand the ball over. They got through their set, put it right down into a corner, and, well, that's not going to help, though. Penalty there, just hanging around a little bit too long in the ruck. The referee Noonan's liking, as we have a look on the replay. Stayed on there and just took too long to get up. As soon as the tackle is completed, you have to stand up immediately. Just laid there for too long.
And be crafty with it. It's okay if we're going to hang there for a little bit, but let's start moving in a pivoting direction like we're feigning to come around and get up in the next half a second.
Absolutely. You can still hold them down for just as long if you look like you're moving. If you're just laying there doing nothing, the referee's going to pin you, as referee Noonan did on that occasion. And that gives a great opportunity to Joondalup to put a big gap in this game. As Parakura Shernak has been dangerous with a running game. That time she's handled. Now the flat pass to Edwards. Edwards just rumbling forward towards the try line. Stevens now to dummy half. Warren waits at first receiver. Gets the ball in hand, turns that underneath to Matthew. Matthew now towards the line, spinning. Gets the offload back to Edwards. Edwards almost gets down. Getting underneath, I think, is April Allen with one of the try savers of the year.
Not sure how the offload went to Edwards. Was in a good position.
Well, Chanel Edwards is saying, I got that to the ground. The angle we had, I thought she may have.
Yeah, it looked like it was pretty good live, but there was also never really any connection with the floor. I like the intensity to come straight back out North Beach. I want to get a hurry on here.
Well, April Allen it was that sort of slid in underneath to try and hold the ball up. The referee didn't have the same angle we did, and it was very, very close. I'll give you the hot tip. Ruled to have dropped the ball over the line, so a 7-tackle set and a great chance now for North Beach. Tiluhui goes across to Funga. Funga goes right to the line before handing that on to Lowndes. Lowndes playing through the middle. Plays the ball. Now Toby, short pass. I think that's knocked down by Stevens. That's not the way the referees have seen it.
I think Kinnaru just palming it down.
Well,
take it either way. I'm with the referee.
Again, just on the angle that I was looking at, it looked like it might have been a Joondalup hand. Got between Thompson. And the ball, but now that's not the way it's been ruled. Now the Joondalup Giants taking that one up over the halfway line. Warren had Jupp on her outside, decides to take it herself. Driven backwards, some good contact. Annette Morrison involved in that tackle. Now the Giants tracking across field, looking to find runners. Herrera nowhere to go. Had some heavy involvement in the last minutes of that first half as Stevens gets the ball in hand. She'll put the kick down to Lowndes, and Sinead Lowndes puts it down. And that is not an error the North Beach side needed.
I was about to commend them as well. It looked like we entered a nice regular holding pattern to start the second half, set for set, minor error for minor error further up the ground, and that's kind of the one that shifts the momentum straight into the favour of the Giants. We could have seen a nice another clean set staying in the middle of the park. Hoping for something for Joondalup just to go awry to get Sea Eagles back in front of this game. Unfortunately, Lowndes goes down, scrum in an attacking position, and a knock-on at the base of the scrum is a very handy thing to pick up on the other side, so not all the momentum shifting away for the Sea Eagles for the time being.
Well, that is very helpful as the lock in the scrum. Just coming up with a little bobble there, and hands possession straight back to North Beach. And the Sea Eagles, Allen goes out a little wider. So tip it out to Buchanan. That one's definitely knocked down by Mawika. This time it is picked up.
Play to the whistle, at least. Picked up on that well, Mawika. Stayed true onto the task, tried to sell it. Didn't mind this little bit of width early, though. If that final pass came off, it's actually a very good tap down by Mawika because Kanikosa would have had a little bit of room to manoeuvre. North Beach would just set half a yard deeper. They would have been able to get that through the line nicely. Another scrum. Don't know if they net gained any metres there, though, Donny.
Well, they've got some speed on the flanks too, North Beach. So Kanikosa we've seen already. As April Allen sweeps around, she gets the ball back on the inside. That was forward from Kanikosa. And, well, it's hard to argue that one. I know we don't have the best of angles there on that, but
didn't look good.
It looked... It's so hard to have your body going that way and to pass that so it goes backwards. You have to twist a long way in an unnatural fashion.
It's no longer about the ball for that kind of pass. It is all in the cell. It's all in the cell to make sure it looks like we're really going backwards.
Well, we've had a little passage of play where it's been error after error after error, which we haven't had through this game so far tonight. It's now the Joondalup Giants. Good run there from Hodge-Sekic. Goes across now. Biddle holds it out in two hands. They get it a little wider. Out the top. Towards the line, held up. Driven backwards. Plenty of Sea Eagles there. Stevens, dummies, goes herself. We know she's got a dangerous offload. There it is to Parakura Chernak. She's chopped down though by Young. Stevens at dummy half. Goes to Edwards, denied a try moments ago. Trying to get over the stripe once more. She's about a 30 centimetres short as Stevens tries to dive from dummy half, and April Allen once again has taken control of that situation and said, not on my watch. So now Stevens to play it back to Parakura Chernak. She fires it out to Biddle. Biddle, a little bit of a double pump and then pops it through the line. The ball's there, tackled without the ball.
And eventually surrendering
it would be interesting to see what they break down out of this play.
Quick shout out, camera 3 getting the nutmeg there through Melissa James Buchanan's legs there. Grubber went straight underneath.
Well, they're just going to say goal line dropout, but I'm sure there was a Joondalup player that was tackled that was nowhere near the football.
It's going to be interesting. Won't have all the review of it.
Well, it's going to be a goal line dropout. And Joondalup will get another opportunity to attack. It goes down to Edwards. Edwards just takes the simple hit up. Nothing fancy on play one. Thompson involved in the tackle. They work down the short side with Stevens. Ball in two hands. Again, they hang off her. Why do they hang off her, Nick? Why do they hang off her? Too good. Just too good tonight, Anika Stevens. She gets her second. It's 20-8. Kick to come.
It just looks like this is compound interest here off the back of 3 or 4 errors and not much footy getting played for the last couple of minutes. There was a good goal line stop by April Allen before, but in that general play sense, 20 out, she has to push wider, stay away with the general defensive policy, and it just opens up those gaps, and you need someone else to be able to stand up and take that tackle on. You're not wrong, Donnie. Standing off her is probably rule number one of what not to do.
Absolutely. It just, as soon as she got the ball in her hands, there was the outside defenders were sliding across, didn't want to tackle her. The inside defenders weren't sliding across. It's pretty simple rugby league for Anika Stevens to identify that. She did pretty quickly, shrugged away from that outside sliding defender, and went straight through. Scores a relatively simple try, but the class that's involved is understated. And yeah, it's great rugby league from the Joondalup Giants. They're setting the tone for a big final series that is coming up. As that another kick is waved away. 5 tries, no conversions for the Joondalup Giants. It's somewhat keeping North Beach in the game, but they haven't been able to kick conversions with either of their two either. So it's just going up in tries at the minute.
Oh, and 8-20, yeah, they're going to need to get a couple on the board pretty quickly here if they want to have a piece really late in this one. And their fitness has looked pretty good tonight. I think this is a good look at Joondalup, though. We've seen, yes, Anika Stevens have a good game, but everyone around her seems keen. And the minutes they're getting out of their big forwards tonight have been pretty impressive, and they don't look like they're blowing up too heavily. Chanel Edwards getting involved with Smiler everywhere around the park. Need to find just 1 or 2% more within themselves if they're going to go all the way this year, Joondalup Giants, and they're sending a good message at the moment to the Ellenbrook Rabbitohs, who are going to play immediately after tonight. That one's scheduled to kick off at about 8 o'clock. Nice shift out to the left-hand side for Edwards.
Player that got the ball there from the kick-off, Elle Warren, I think is her role's been a little bit sort of understated in terms of what she's been able to provide as that running, ball-playing lock forward. I think she's playing an important role for this Joondalup side as well. Takes a bit of pressure off players like Biddle and Stevens, and that allows them to play their natural game.
Biddle just crawling an extra 6 metres and asking, no, I didn't crawl at all.
Grace Matthew out of dummy half on the back of that. The marker's a little bit asleep, and on tackle 5. Joondalup again have worked themselves into a decent position, and on the final play, Parakura Shernak was thinking about who she was going to give the ball to and instead knocks it on. So that'll just be a handover because the ball was brought into play after the final play the ball. Before that little bobble. And North Beach, well, let's see the desperation that they've got. How much do they want to fight for their season? Because it is all on the line. They trail by 12 points in this game. There's plenty of time left on the clock if they're good enough.
Just got to find a way to shuffle the ball around. I think the left wing's the most likely to break through, so it's about shifting the ball right and then really making this left side of the ground as wide as they possibly can. Have Buchanan and Lowndes all running through. Wait for April Allen to release as well. Nice early dish for Buchanan, who runs in very vertically and manages to hold on to that. Thought there might have been a penalty for 2-on-1 strip. Anika Stevens makes the coverage tackle, because of course she does. Out to the right-hand side. Ball goes to ground. No one keen to scoop it up. Eventually, Toby goes wider for Allen, who just steps a little bit too late. Hands get free, and Young makes a half a line break. Young halfway there. Now they set up really nicely in front of the sticks. They want to go quickly down the right-hand side again. Toby off the right foot. Look to go across the face. Nice tackle up into the line, and we're going to get a turnover right on the goal line.
Well, a really good set. There was some nice play there from North Beach, but just on that last play, they didn't have the polish, the finish on it. Toby got the ball in hand and tried to come up with a try step back on the inside, but plenty of Joondalup defence to shut her down. No kick on the end of it, and Joondalup diffuse a dangerous situation. They'll now professionally bring it out of their own end and put the ball down North Beach's end of the field at the end of this set, you would think. And again, they'll have to go 80, 90 metres if they want to come up with a try. They're going to have to come up with something special. Joondalup are not going to give this to them. They're going to continue to fight as they look to secure a minor premiership. They go up over the halfway line. It is Warren to play the ball. Back to Stevens, who kicks from dummy half. Chasing through is Moeka. The bounce is kind for Allen. She steps past the first. It's a staggered chasing line, which is, well, it's deadly dangerous on occasions, but on this occasion the second wave gets through and makes contact on Allen. Buchanan, she's looked good with every touch. Now they work down the right-hand side with Lowndes. She's just trying to find a little bit of room. She's done some light stepping. It's created some opportunities as they go over to Young. Young with some footwork at the line, and Brianna Young, she's got the fullback in front of her. The fullback's coming across. She goes back inside her and goes right under the sticks. Brianna Young, take a bow. You have just got your team potentially within 6 points.
Having a very, very good second half, Brianna Young. They're all starting to link things up, but that's a couple of decent line breaks now, and looks are good, and a good right foot step just to get around her air at the end of the day as well. Shouldn't have been that easy at the back.
Oh, we just see the dotting down. But that first move that she made when she first got the ball, sort of caught it going right, and then as she catches it, steps off the right foot, and when it goes straight through a hole. Again, it's subtle, but yeah, those that understand the game understand how difficult that is to do. Fantastic stuff from Brianna Young to break the line in the first place. And then the fullback sort of backing away, and saw the fullback backing away and said, well, I'm as fast as you are. I'm going to burn you. Again, steps off the right foot, goes inside her, and instead of keeping her out wide, allows her to score under the post for the conversion. It's now 20 points to 14 on the fuel to go and play scoreboard.
Makes things very possible. I mean, we didn't even talk about where draws get us. It gets us nowhere, by the way, tonight. If that helps anyone, at least we've got another hour and a half of footy to go to do the math and figure it all out. Oh, you flipped the page, Donny.
Well, yeah, a draw does put Joondalup into first, and it also takes North Beach above Fremantle. So it's a draw works for
everyone.
Well, for one of these teams, depending on the result of the next game.
That's fair. That's reasonable. It doesn't. It helps and it doesn't. Yeah. I think the interesting thing to note about this North Beach side for the next little while as well is April Allen, Lowndes, Cox, Toby and Young. The change of pace game for them is probably the strength, and to toy with that coming up into an attacking line is maybe the exciting prospect for the next couple of years. They've all still got plenty of footy left in them. Big finish coming here tonight with 12 minutes to go on the clock, though.
Absolutely. It's a huge 12 minutes. It is, of course, 5 tries to 3, but it's a one-score game. North Beach within 1 try, as now they look to rumble up over towards the halfway line. Anderson will play the ball. Told to play it. She wanted to get up and keep going. Now with Lowndes through the middle, trying again to come up with a one-on-one strip. Parakura Shernak denied on this occasion. The ball comes out wider. The pass there flat, picked up by Buchanan. The pass was more than flat.
I think that's a rough one as well. It just looked ugly all the way, but you can't assume that was going to be shoveling that far forward. A little break here for the Giants, and the one we haven't considered as well, Donny, is Anika Stevens could just ruin the party here and realise exactly what we're talking about and take a cheap one really soon in this game.
Well, that is a potential option. Just on that play there, though, I even the flat runner wasn't expecting the ball, was never supposed to be getting the ball. It was always supposed to be going out the back to try and unleash April Allen and Melly Jane Buchanan. And, yeah, just got it wrong in the execution there, the Sea Eagles. He's coming to the final stages of this game. The ball's come free. How's it come free? Knock on Joondalup. North Beach will get the ball and an opportunity to attack. We'll have a look at the replay, see if it does get any help. Certainly not. That one is just a pure knock on. An error there from Rumatatoa. And North Beach, well, every time they've got the ball in hand, they're a chance to create something. Short ball to Buchanan. But handled that time by Bunce. And they come back towards the middle through Thompson. Thompson runs at Jupp. Big clash of bodies, but they're inside the Giants' half. Now Toby turns it underneath to Anderson. Good post contact meters before being dragged to the ground by Edwards. The pass from dummy half. They again go to the line. Thompson. Thompson looking to crash through. Pilots one over to April Allen. They go out wide to Buchanan. Canacosa. She has to come back infield. The swarming Giants defence. They slid across well. On tackle 4. Buchanan at dummy half. Goes towards the middle. Funga. Short ball. April Allen steps through the middle. And April Allen scores the try. We've got a kick to come to level this game.
Joondalup are getting tired, Donny. I've read this for a couple of minutes off the back of the second half. The line speed is drifting away. They're not up in the face, and uncharacteristically, 6 or 7 unforced errors in this half alone. All of a sudden, North Beach are taking the opportunities, and from 8-0 down in the first 5 minutes to now a kick to level it up at 20 apiece. This is a good start to a Friday night, that's for sure. What a late ball.
Our man, camera 3. Our man. That was a great replay there, showing the perfect little inside pass from Joondalup Vanga straight on to April Allen, who stepped through, as you said, some tiring defence. And when you've got tiring defence in around the middle of the park, April Allen's your perfect target because her footwork is deadly. And, what a game, what a kick, what a moment here for Sinead Lowndes.
I think as well, Ken Allen night, camera 3, expect an invite. Might be getting a few votes. Big kick this.
Should kick it, moves in and hangs it out to the left. And waved away. Well, goal kicking tonight has been horrible forever. Well, just the way she set it up, it's like you should kick it, but I'm not sure exactly about that lean. Didn't work out, and it's still a 2-point ball game. The Giants holding on. There's still time.
Heaps
still
of time.
7.5 minutes on the clock. Joondalup are walking slowly up to the halfway line. I don't know that they've got 7.5 minutes left in them.
Well, this will be the big test. Edwards back out there now, just had a stint. I think she's gone back on for Jupp. And, you know, she's already put in a lot of minutes tonight, so are these defensive holes going to get bigger? Or do we have an inspired performance out of the few of the starters? It's all going to unplay in the last 7 minutes of this game. Better line speed this time. They're just going to have to roll back with the punches because what's coming back at them is just as quick. Set out well to the left here. Little error underneath. Just lost control of it, did Brianna Young. Only blemish on the second half, you'd have to say, for her.
Yeah, it's a cruel game, rugby league, isn't it? She's been an absolute heroine throughout the night, and that moment suddenly makes her one of the villains of the story, particularly if the Giants can convert this opportunity into points. Anika Stevens to feed the scrum. Goes out to Biddle. Pretty simple play here, not looking for any trick shots from the scrum win there, the Giants. As Orere's driven backwards. Really important defensive set now. Trying to make up for the error of Young. As Bunce just takes a run out of dummy half. Again, you wait for Stevens and her involvement. As Moika goes to Biddle, to Warren. Stevens now to the left. She's marshalling the troops out to that side. She looks like she's got Edwards outside her. Goes to the line, turns that underneath to Matthew. Matthew chopped down. Now Edwards. Edwards just going straight and hard. Well, it's been a fairly no-frills set so far from the Giants. It goes to Stevens, who goes to the line, puts the kick across field. Danger here, allowed to bounce. It sits up. Moika's got it. She's got a hat-trick. Try to the Giants, and they extend this lead back out to 6.
It's a pretty good kick here. Always finding Matamoika. The defensive numbers as well. There's about 3-on-1 really wide there. Kick beat them all, turned it back into a 1-on-1. Camera 3, how good is he this time? We'll give it a B+ this time, but it's still a pretty good shot. Matamoika has been in good form, and probably for the last month, 5 weeks at least, has been its star out on the right. And a hat-trick tonight. Yeah, danger on the votes again.
Oh, absolutely right. Got a double last week. A hat-trick here tonight. She's had 2 tries in 5 minutes, and I think I might have made the off the cuff comment that she might score 15 tonight. The way she's started the game.
It's 12 points. We can change your metric.
Not quite 15, but she's got 3 so far, with under 5 to play. Another important kick. Goal kicking's been. There's only been 1 conversion so far tonight, and one from the sideline now for Stevens. Moves in, strikes it, waved away. So North Beach, their season ain't done yet. They need to score a converted try here in this final 4 minutes. They need the ball, first of all.
Got to get the ball, got to score. Draw the most likely way they can progress for now. But it would take a mighty effort from the Roosters to take over what we're looking at a pretty strong team list of the Rabbitohs. Straight after this, the Westpac Women's Premiership continues. Nice little bring back into the line from Arere. All tiring now out there are the Joondalup Giants. Nice tackle in the side.
Well, the minor premiership's also pretty important this season, Nick, because you get the minor premiership.
Get 1 week off.
You get straight through to the grand final. You're in the grand final if you take that. So the Joondalup Giants, on the live ladder, are in the grand final as Matamoika trying for 4. Trying to get me closer to my target of 15. Not quite. So they go back now towards Parakura-Chernak. Warren in the middle of the park, a one-on-one strip. A one-on-one strip.
Stripped back? Stripped back.
Well, eventually allowed to play the ball is Young, but they've got to score. They've got to score in this set. Ada Cox. She doesn't make any headway through Warren. What trick shot do they have up their sleeve? Do they have anything in the magic kit bag?
Joondalup are committing. They're looking to put a couple of brutey tackles on at the moment, so one little offload late with some overcommitted defenders is probably the play to April Allen again.
Now Young. Young goes to the line. Well, she might have played it out the back there to Lowndes. Again, it's tackle 4, and they've got to find some way to go 50 metres. A bit of a hop step, a flat pass out to Allen, and again called forward, and I'd have to agree with that decision.
Yeah, camera 2 this time though, Donny, right on the line, and looked pretty good the whole way. I mean, it's a good pass, and for the purists out there, you're going to start getting out the ruler of momentum and forwards, but just the hands were never quite angled backwards at all.
Yeah, I wanted it to play on, but straight out of the hands, I thought, yeah. And the call came. It goes the way of the Giants and into this final 90 seconds. We're in the miracle territory, Nick. We need a miracle. Well, the North Beach Sea Eagles need a miracle. Offload play on. Parakura-Chernak looking to put this one to sleep once and for all. Stevens gets to dummy half. She points Chanel Edwards in the direction she wants her to go. Slow play the ball, though. I don't think this is gamesmanship by any means. I think she's genuinely hurt. Trying to get to her feet here, Tara. This would be a big blow late in this game. She's straight away hobbling towards the sideline. She bravely gets up and plays the ball. She tries to hobble over to get off the field for this final minute. Now Warren. Warren goes to the line, the short pass. Porter, a little bit of a juggle on tackle 5. Stevens, she's just going to run from dummy half. She's going to be happy to hand it over and meet her out. The pass comes back to Biddle. Biddle fires one over the top. Bunt's going back infield. And they'll hand it over with, about 2 plays here for North Beach. They're trying to rip the ball free. April Allen out of dummy half. Gets away from one. Puts a little kick in behind. She gets a little check in running. The Joondalup Giants get back there through Herrera. They clean it up. And the North Beach Sea Eagles, well, they've been brave, but their season comes to an end.
Yeah, it's a tough way to go out. I mean, a conceded effort to get back into this game of footy. Never said die, I should say at least. Really worked their way back in strongly, but you've got to commend them for rocking up this season and starting to get a better performance together. The numbers are good. The back line is looking pretty damn awesome. Led all around the park by some pretty experienced head now that are into their 4th, 5th and 6th season all together at the North Beach Sea Eagles. It's one way to go out. It puts Joondalup for the moment on top of the ladder. Points difference is the problem with Ellenbrook currently in front by 22 points difference minus the 6 of tonight. So you call that an 18 points different. Any win from Ellenbrook gives them the minor premiership.
Absolutely. That's what we've got to play for in the next game. It is that spot in the grand final. The Ellenbrook Rabbitohs win the next game that we're going to be broadcasting as well in the Westpac Women's Premiership. If they can beat the Fremantle Roosters, it'll be Ellenbrook straight through to the grand final. And a Joondalup Fremantle game in the Eliminator, the preliminary final next week. On the other side of the coin, if Fremantle can win, then Joondalup will be straight through to the grand final, and Fremantle and Ellenbrook will play again the following week.
Still the story to be written here tonight. Next game starts at 8 o'clock. We'll take a little break and we'll be right back in about 5 minutes for the second Westpac Women's Premiership game, the last game of the season, right after this.